Infotainment ukamva sasi chonchikulira ndiye kutumaziwa kuti nkhani za msanguluso zabwera. Tikuwuzeni kuti kunali chani nkhani za msanguluso komanso kukhalenso chani nkhani za msanguluso. And my name is Sam Banda Jr. In this edition, Power Mwe, a Blantyre-based youth grouping that basically uses old clothes to show the best of what used to be done in terms of fashion in those days. That's old school. Power's kids donating some of the items which they got recently from some of the organizations that gave them some foodstuffs, as well as part of the prize which they got from Castel Malawi for coming out top in a photography session that highlighted the best of Sobo. So they decided to use part of that prize to donate to one of the orphanages. We've got lots more to tell you on that. And again, Associate Professor at University of Malawi, Chancellor College in Zomba, that's Winfred Mkochi, publishes his very first poetry anthology. Again, we also look at Code Sangala holding his very first show since going on a break due to COVID. He starred at HS Winehouse in Blantyre last Sunday. We've got lots more to give you in that package. All you can do is stay right there as I bring you more in Infotainment, a basket full of arts and entertainment. Now, we begin our program on a rather exciting note. A Blantyre-based youthful theatre group by the name of YDC Theatre last weekend held a show. And this show, basically, they staged a play, a Shakespeare play titled Macbeth. This is a popular book, Macbeth. We've seen a lot of drama groups putting their efforts together, adapting this play. Others have done African Macbeth. So YDC Theatre decided to stage a play titled Macbeth, and they staged it at Pachi Academy in Blantyre. We just want to show you how they performed in terms of showing the best of Macbeth. Let's look at the performance from YDC Theatre, a play titled Macbeth.
Tries to bind, tries to mind, tries again and makes up time.
I am Macbeth. My friends, let's dance. We're born from a woman. I live under the curse. It's a note. Kill me.
Talent from the younger ones. They show us, showing us how the play is done, and that's a story of Macbeth. It's a popular play done by William Shakespeare titled Macbeth. So they decided to show it at Pachi Academy. This was also part of showing students out there the play itself for Macbeth. So lessons learned, especially for students, because that's part of literature. So big up to YDC Theatre for adapting that that production. And by the way, these younger ones, this youthful group is set to stage another play next month, and this play is titled Walking Kamuzu. So you should look forward to that production, which they'll show it in Blantyre. Remember, you're watching Infotainment, a basket for arts and entertainment, and my name is Sam Banda Jr. We continue with our program, and this time around we're moving from plays, we go to music. That's another discipline of art. Music basically soothes the soul and gives us the much needed entertainment. So one of the artists, renowned artist called Sangala, for those of you who followed Code Sangala, he used to star with Kapirintia then, but now he is doing it solo. So last weekend, he came out of a long break, which is there at the moment due to COVID, but artists have started coming out little by little. All they have to do is continue to observe the necessary precautionary measures given by the government through the Ministry of Health, as well as World Health Organization, masking up, washing our hands frequently, avoiding gatherings. But there is a ban on gatherings, but still more. It's less than 50. If you can hold a show of less than 50 people and then put up the strict COVID measures, then that's okay for that. So we still have shows happening at HS Winehouse in Blantyre, and last weekend, as I say, Code Sangala and the Tribe performed at HS Winehouse in Blantyre, where there's Infotainment, and we captured the moments when Code Sangala was holding a show. And at one time, he also collaborated with Cody. The real name is Chikondi Suleiman. And then there was also a surprise guest by the name of Kelvin Maigwa, who also performed at the show, just warming up the stage, spicing up when Code Sangala went on a break. So we give you the highlights of that show. Let's take a look.
I think that the country is like kind of slowly opening up, and people are not very sure still. You know, I mean, I have my mask, you know, in the car, but you know, I have to perform, so yeah. But I also got a shot, you know, or a job, the infamous job, and so it's kind of nice to pretty much get out here and perform for the first time. We like to do traditional music. I love to call it Gule music, you know, and so. It's not the most popular music because people are not very familiar with, like, you know, all the traditional stuff. You know, the country has suffered a great loss in terms of like people recognizing music that is authentic and music that kind of represent our country. And I think it's my quest as an artist and my band, The Tribe, to be able to kind of refresh people's memories and, you know, kind of rejuvenate the energy of authentic Malawi music, otherwise called Gule. And so it's really nice to be here at Winehouse, and thank you so much for Winehouse for inviting us. You know, it's really great to be here.
Apa tili surprise guest as usual. This time around, welcome on stage, a dynamite on stage, an international guest artist. Pala pala pala, mufuse kuwa kuno mutumba la zaidi koda maganji, amajeta pala pala.
Yeah, that is how it was at HS Winehouse in Blantyre. Called Sangala performing Called Sangala and the Tribe. On lead guitar was Manyozo Chado, and then on percussions Anthony Supriano, and on the bass guitar that's Stanley Pili, showing the best of his talent, skills on the bass. And earlier on you also saw Chord joining Chord Sangala, performing the song Mkazi Wachingoni. And at the very end you saw Kelvin Maigwa, a man of many talents. He's a cartoonist as well as a musician. So giving us a song titled Pala Porridge. And he's just speaking volumes of what porridge is all about. We all have taken porridge. So we need to value porridge. That's what he's talking about. Continuing with our program Infotainment, we move on to another item. Power Mwe, a Blantyre-based group made up of youth and specializes in vintage. Anyamara menewa amachita nkhani ya zovala zakale. Amatolera zovala zakale kwa inu amene muli zovala zakale. Iyai anyamara menewa they specialize in vintage. Vintage things, showing the best of how it used to be in those days. Kuvala kaya magondola, iyai matrauza, tuxedo, iyai kuvala nditu zipewa zija. Anyamata menewa akhala kuchita zimenezo. So amachita zinthu zambiri, including photography. And recently Castel came out through their social media, where they asked different platforms, those who are involved in photography, to take a photograph of Sobo using their different means to show what Sobo is all about. Sobo, this is orange swatch, by the way. Others might be asking, what is Sobo? That's orange swatch. So it stems from Southern Botras, but instead of saying orange swatch, we used to saying Sobo. So they came out and said, kuti iyai amenanga jambule chituzi chabwino iyai atitumizire. Nde panali ndi tuzi zosiyana different photographs which came out, and at the very end Power Mwe came out the top. Chituzi chimene chikuonesa ndithu mzimayi ali kumuzi akugawa ndithu Sobo kwa vana ngati banja. Chituzi chimene chidabwera number 1. Nde mphaso imene adalandira kumeneko adapasidwa ndi Castel. Anyamata amene wa Power Mwe, they decided to donate it to Baha'i orphanage that's in Bangwe, Blantyre. And then they also asked people to help them with other items as well. So they donated part of their prize which they got from Castel, as well as other items which they got from other well-wishers. So we're there as Infotainment as well. Nelson Chitua gave us this footage when they were donating the items. Let's take a look.
apa wamwe tati tigawane chikondi chimene amalawi anachionesa pa chithunzi chathu chimene chinawina mpikisano wa sobo. Chithunzi chimene ndi chimodzi mwa zithunzi 5 zimene tinajambula mu December 2020 kufuna kuwakumbutsa anthu kuti akhale malingaliro abwino komanso akhale osangalala mu nyengo ya Christmas. Ndi chithunzi chimene chimene panali amayi ndi ana atatu akumwa sobo. Amalawi, chikondi cha Malawi anatiuza kuti sobo ikuchitisa mpikisano kuti amene ikuchitisa mpikisano umene akufuna anthu akumwa sobo. Chithunzi chimene chikhale ndi ngati pa Facebook malikes ambiri chimene anthu achikondi ochuluka chiwina mabotolo 6 asobo imene ndi kesi imodzi. Tinalowa nawo mpikisano uja mwaunyinji amalawi mwaunyinji anachikonda chithunzi chicha mpaka na Castelo Malawi, kampani ya Castelo Malawi imene imapanga sobo inatipasa mabotolo 12. Ndiye tinaona kuti chikondi cha Malawi chimenechi tisangomwa ifeyo soboyo koma tichitengere ku bahasi kumene kuli ana 88 amene ndi ovutika komanso ena ndi amasiye. Ndiye tinaziwisa Malawi kuti tikupita ku bahasi sobo sapoti mnatipasa pa sobo ija tawina sobo chitikumpitisa ku bahasi chikondi chanu ana akachionesa kumeneko. Ndi amalawi so anabwera mwaunyinji ndikutithandiza kupereka sugar, kamba, maswiti, soya pieces ndiwo zimenezo ndi mafuta odzola.
Mawu ndithu ndiothokoza kwa mpingo wa Malawi amene ndithu atenga gawo pa siku limeneli kupereka zinthu zosiyanasiyana kuzathandiza ana amasiye amene timawasunga pano pa bahasi. Ambuye wadalitse pamene achosapo Mulungu wawo ndithu awonjezere komanso ndionena kuti mtima umene aonesawo akapangirenso kwa anthu ena. Mavuto ndi ambiri tikayang'ana ngati kuno kudera ku Bango timakhala ndithu ndi ana ambiriso ndithu amene amapezeka kuti abwera kuno nthawi zina tikawasiye. Mavuto ambiri amene kwambiri tikumana nawo pano ndi nkhani ya zakudya komanso zovala. Ndi nyengo inonso imene tikulowayi ndi nyengo yozizira. Timafunanso amene akufuna kwabwino ndithu atathandiza kuti mablanketi kuti apasana amenewa komanso sana okhawa amene tinawo pano tilinso ndi ana anazali ana amene wawo akuchokera ndithu madera ozungulira kunoko ana pafupi 65 ndi athu amene tinawo pano 28 kutakhala kutheka amene akufuna kwabwino atathandiza kuti mablanketi mnyengo imeneyi zikhala mtengo wopambana kwambiri.
Yeah, that's how it was. The donation at Bahai orphanage that's in Bangwe by Power Mwe. Anyamata amene ndithu ali ndi luso lozama using different talents which they have to show the best of what they can do. But then within that program of showing their talent, they decided to use part of the prize which they got from Castell to donate to an orphanage. A very good cause out there. Remember, you're watching Infotainment, the basket for arts and entertainment, and my name is Sam Banda Jr. Continuing with the program, Associate Professor, that's Winfred Mkochi, who is based at Chancellor College in Zomba, has published his very first anthology of poetry titled The Train Derails. The Train Derails, and this book is his very first, and very excited that he has managed to put together an anthology of poems. And the book was launched on Friday. That's April 16, 2021 at Little Theatre in Zomba. We caught up with Associate Professor Winfred Mkochi to tell us more about this anthology, The Train Derails. What is it all about? What is he talking about? And why did he come out with this book? Let's hear from Associate Professor Winfred Mkochi.
The title of this poem is Another Train Derails. 4 months passed, a train from Limbi rattled pell-mell down Maravi. Maravi God claimed her life and passengers accepted their fate. Today, Tomfoot train from Blantyre rattled down Mbayani, deceptively healthy, and the Mbayani god intercepted her. But I hear a voice from the waters. Blantyre and Limbe drivers, get out! Your quota is exhausted. This book answers the question whether Malawi is making progress. And most of the poems show that we are in a downward spiral in terms of life, health, safety, prosperity, happiness, and knowledge. Everything seems to be going down. And sometimes there's been hope that things will change when we have a new government, but it's the same abnormal change. I started writing in the 1990s, so the poems in this book span from 1993 to 2020. And the inspiration, I think, comes from my late teacher, Steve Chimombo, who taught me how to write poetry, short stories, and the like. And he emphasized that we should be writers and not just learn in class, but we should produce something that will continue from where he stopped. So I think this inspired me that at least I should do something to make his spirit happy. Several poems, individual poems, were published in newspapers and magazines, but this is the first complete anthology or booklet of my own. I'm very excited. It's a dream come true because I've always wanted to be a published author. So having achieved this, I think I'm really, really glad. My advice to budding writers, I might also be a budding writer, since this is my first, but I think my advice is that we should read what others have written before, because I see what is being written nowadays. Most of them, they're not poems. They're just cuttings of lines. So if they read what other people have written before, and the spirit that is in those previous poems, they can write better poems. I can say this anthology is unlike many other anthologies. This one is based on a belief that we can produce better poems even in a democracy. Chimombo and others were inspired because of what was happening, harsh times during their times. Now we are no longer in harsh times, but we can still produce better poetry and people can enjoy it. I'm going to read Two Lost Souls. She was from overseas and I, sub-Saharan. Obsessed with photos, she would say. Number 114 was a self-portrait. I took it using my cell phone. My obsession? Well, I was a beer drinker. She was in love. She was afraid. She tried to build a wall to keep her free. She had love. I had myself to prove. I broke into her heart. How would a wall keep her free? She had taste for slow music. I had taste for African music. Maybe you love pop songs, she would say. I don't know about the music you love. She played some noisy rap music for me, recorded after September 11, 2001. We were not in trade to exchange heroes for ghosts. Never.
Yeah, that's that about the Train Derails, an anthology of poetry produced by Associate Professor Winfred Mkochi. Continuing with our program, there is a young man in town by the name of Wilfred Laston. He's known as Mr. Piano Man, and every Sunday he performs at Club 24/7 in Blantyre. He's impressed a lot of people. He plays covers, but then he has shown that he's got talent, and we captured one of his performances. That's last Sunday at Club 24/7. That's in Blantyre, and we also managed to speak to his manager. That's McDonald Soko, who is the owner of Club 24/7. And McDonald Soko also
Pano. This guy is very talented. You can see the audience is too excited. Everybody is very happy here. 24/7 is there to give entertainment. 24/7 is there to give talent. 24/7 is there to produce talent and bring it to the community. Wilfred is a very talented guy. So far we've made him so many productions. Wherever he goes, everybody is happy about Wilfred, and we love him. So what I can say rather is 24/7 is here for Malawians to be entertained to the maximum, and we are happy to have Wilfred with us amidst us. I'm managing Wilfred. He's here in Blantyre. He's performed in many places. We've visited many places. He's a guy with talent, and many people have shown interest. So far, we've had some performances in many places. No, we hope things will change. We've been waiting for long. Situkufuna kuchula kuti tikudigira ndani koma nkhandi kuti we are waiting. Our right to economic activity has been deprived. Our right to supporting our families have been deprived. Our right to have a meaningful life have been deprived. And we feel that I actually feel there are people in authority somewhere else. Entertainment industry is dying because of COVID. We understand the reason behind COVID. We know COVID is not just about Malawi. Is a problem across the globe. But we still feel the government should consider entertainment industry. We still feel the government should come in.
Yeah, that's Wilfred Laston performing last Sunday at Club 24/7 in Blantyre, taking us to the very end of Infotainment, a basket full of arts and entertainment. But before I go, I'll tell you some of the hobbies. Black missionaries, after performing last weekend at Ozone Refreshment Center in Blantyre, as well as Culture Club in Salima, they are still in Blantyre this weekend, and they'll be performing at Scala's Cave, that's in Blantyre, on Sunday. And again, HS Winehouse, after hosting Code Sangala last Sunday, this Sunday they are hosting McLuther Mambala as well as Lucent, the violinist. So they'll be coming face to face. In our next edition, we'll be talking to Kuza Lampi, who will be telling us more about Musicians Association of Malawi, why they are trying to revamp it, how different is it from Musicians Union of Malawi. And again, we'll also be speaking to Ron Mupua, who is the president of Muwana, one of the organization which is propelling the art of writing in the country. As I said, I hope you've enjoyed what I brought unto you in this edition of Infotainment. My name is Sam Banda Jr. Continue watching Infotainment as well as Times Television, TTV. I'm out of here. My name is Sam Banda Jr. Ciao.